Let's take a look at a test program for the buffer core. Okay, so the test program in here, first we're going to just light up all the LEDs in here, and then we're going to bypass all the video modules, and then we're going to wait for about 3 seconds. And then we do the frame check, which is basically what tests the frame buffer. And then here, what we're doing is I basically commented everything except for the frame buffer related line. So what I'm doing is I'm checking the status of the first switch, or switch 0 in here. And if it is 1, we go through that while loop and we stay in it. And inside that while loop, I'm basically connecting switch number 8 to the bypass of this particular frame buffer. So let's take a look at what this particular frame check is doing, and let's see if the code is actually working as expected. So we go in here. So this is where the frame check is. So what the frame check is doing is the following. We pass the frame buffer driver to it, which is the class. We say, hey, you should not be bypassing it. So initially it was bypassed. Before, at the very beginning, we bypass everything, including the frame buffer. And in here, what I'm doing is I'm repeating something for 10 times, and that thing is actually, I'm clearing the screen to a color, and we say that here it's actually a dark green. Remember, that color is actually in 3-bit or 9-bit in total. So that particular, like if you convert this to binary, you're going to see that's a 0, 0, 0. That's basically the blue, and then 1, 0, 0. That's the green. So, and that's what you will see essentially, that it's actually going to be on a green, on a very dark green, because it's actually the least significant bit of the green. And internally, what I'm doing is I'm generating about 20 things, which are basically 20 lines, and those lines I'm making sure that, or actually 20 points, 20 point coordinates, X and Y, and I'm making sure they're within my H max and V max in here. And I'm basically saying, hey, the color, remember, it's like the color is 9, 2 to the power 9 is 512. So I'm making sure that it's below that 512 mark. And then I'm plotting a line between the point 400, 200, okay, and whatever I just generated in here using that particular color. And we do that for like basically 300 milliseconds, and then we repeat. And again, I'm doing, basically I drew 20 lines, I wait, I draw 20 lines, I wait, I draw 20 lines, I wait, I draw 20 lines, and I wait. And that's basically, I repeat this about 10 times, and then I wait for 3 seconds. So let's take a look at that particular code and how it's doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a CPU reset. It actually bypass everything and wait for a little bit. And then this is what bypassing everything looks like for 3 seconds. And then it's generating these lines about like basically to 10 times. And each time it's actually 20 lines. And then now it's pausing because it detected that I basically put this at the 1, and then I'm gonna go to switch number 8. I can bypass this frame buffer or not bypass it, bypass it or not bypass it, bypass it or not bypass it. And if I want to get out of the while loop, the one that is here at the bottom, and going back to that frame check again, so we're gonna do that in here. Okay, and then what it will do is it will bypass that particular frame, wait for a little bit, which is 3 seconds in here, and then it will do the frame check, which is basically 10 times, drawing 20 lines. And you can see that this particular point in here that you see is the 400, 200. So if I wanted to change it to something different, let's see that code, for example, I wanted something from the middle of the screen, for example, you can just say 640 divided by 2. We can calculate that in here. That is the X, so it's 640 divided by 2, it's going to be 320, and then 480 divided by 2, it's going to be 240. Okay, so we do that, you can compile and see it, and it should actually show us now that the lines will start from the middle of the screen at that point. Yeah, so I went ahead and I programmed the FPGA, and as you can see, now the starting point is approximately the middle in here, because I just basically took the coordinates and I divided them by 2, and now I have that point is actually right in the middle of the screen. And of course, because I don't have this at 1, it's actually bypassing and repeating, so I can bypass it in here and just see it, and you can calculate it.